friends. I do not sell Usborne books, but I have a lot. So I wanted to give you some of my favorite recommendations and give you a few categories that are probably going to be featured on the party. And I offered to do this because I know some have asked for my recommendations. And so I'm surrounded by books here. You can't necessarily see, but I am surrounded by books. I'm going to try to keep it kind of short. I'm going to try. But I have a lot. So first and foremost, for those who are homeschooling with me and have asked about good homeschooling books, Usborne has a lot of great encyclopedias. And you can get the smaller individual encyclopedias, like this is the first encyclopedia to Seas and Oceans. I realize that you're probably going to see everything backwards. Get the idea with the pictures and stuff. And so inside there are lots of facts. And the cool thing about all of their encyclopedias is I'm pretty sure all of them are linked. All of them are really great. It was wonderfully illustrated. That's what drew me to Usborne books, is they have great pictures and illustrations. They're really well done books. And these are linked to online resources. So if they really liked talking about these coral reef animals, you could go to the Internet Links website and find this book, and then give the page number, and it will give you resources, YouTube video links, websites that talk all about it. And these are credible, great resources. So if you're doing research projects, which I just came back from a training that talked about the research projects, these are a great place to start because they will take you to other good resources and so on and so forth. And these are small versions, these first encyclopedia, so you're going to have thinner ones, but then you can also get into the big ones. I have a lot of the big ones. I think I have most of the big ones. My science one is around here somewhere, but we did just get back from vacation, so I'm not entirely sure where everything is. But here is the Usborne Geography Encyclopedia, and it comes complete with a world atlas. It also talks about different parts of the world, and so it talks about cultures, map reading, pretty much everything you could, world climates. Okay, again, really well illustrated, also internet linked. And it also comes with maps. So this is maps of Europe. And it takes sections of Europe, so you can get pretty detailed maps from these. And then they'll give you a broad over. Let me see if I can find the broader map of Europe. Yeah. So it'll start with the map of Europe, and then it'll break Europe into sections and give you a look at that. So that is the Geography Encyclopedia. I also have the Science Encyclopedia, which has all different kinds of science. And this is one of my go-tos. It's the World History Encyclopedia. I love world history. Anybody who knows me knows I love world history. So this goes through quite a bit from beginning to the end. Again, lots of great pictures, illustrations, short, condensed versions of what these books, what pieces of history are, but with lots of great facts. And so they have these encyclopedias, which are really joining a bunch of the smaller books. So if you have medieval history encyclopedia, well, you might just want to get the world history because it includes that encyclopedia and several others. Some of the encyclopedias I think are independent and not included in the larger volumes, but I think most of their encyclopedias are included in a larger volume like what you just saw. I'm not sure that this is one that would have a larger volume. I have the Encyclopedia of World Religions. I'm not even sure if they still have this. Some of these might be out of print because I've been having ordering Usborne books for a long, long time. So I'm picking out some of my favorites and trying to show you kind of what they look like. But again, beautiful, beautiful pictures. And pretty well written, concise facts for those of your kids making keyword outlines. There are some other great nonfiction books. I have Special Forces, so if you thought that this was going to be an Usborne party just for girls, you're wrong. My daughter loves action and spy stuff, so I got her Special Forces. Extreme Sports. They have ones about animals, but Audrey loves action spying. And so, for example, the spying one is pretty cool. It talks about spies of the ancient world. It talks about some of the different spies in world wars. It talks about ways that spycraft has evolved. So let's see if I can find robot spies. It talks about code languages and different ways that they disguise, here we go, secret messages. So and it's similar in Extreme Sports. Special Forces, really great, again, digestible books for those with, and the thing I like about them is they're not dumbed down, they're quality written stuff. Now for some of my favorites. I'm gonna, before I go into the combined volumes, I'm going to show you some of the kids' books I've liked. Oh no, we still have some school stuff to get through. Survival skills. I just got this one at the last party I booked. And it's really cool. Because it talks about first aid, all about first aid, how to apply first aid, prevention, cuts and bruises, bites and stings, drowning, falls, electrocution, diarrhea and vomiting, recovery position. That is one section of this book. Tons and tons and tons of survival skills. And this is the second volume. They have, I think, 3. So super cool. If you haven't seen Bear Grylls on Netflix, he has like a survival Netflix show that's super, 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 super duper cool. That Audrey really liked, and so she actually chose this book. Some other school related ones. We have the STEM Science Scribble book, which I got because I really am graphically oriented and I thought it was really cool. And so, like mazes, puzzles, demonstrations, about different kinds of science, different areas of science. Some of these science books I have, I would recommend looking on their website to see if they're at the age level. I haven't always looked at the age level before buying stuff. I just look at it and I'm like, ooh, that's pretty, and then I buy it. And that's not bad. She has liked a lot of those books, but like this one, possibly a bit under her age level, so we haven't really worked with this one a lot. I also have 100 Things to Know About Science. Again, I love, love, love the illustrations. So they have lots of different random volcanic eruptions, bats, sound, if venom gets into your body, what do you do? Random science facts, super cool as well. They also have Science Academy, and they have this for different ones. They have engineer, they have, I know for sure they have science and engineer, and I think chemistry or something, but they have it for different careers, I believe. And again, it talks about some of the skills you'll need and kind of gives you some practice on that. And it has the different areas of scientists in this. So look, it has a little sundial you can make in the beginning, and it here's the cover page, and it talks about different areas of science, and each area of science you can graduate with a certificate after you've completed the activities and stuff in there. So that's really cool. Um, there's also several writing, and I have a creative writing one. It's probably in my homeschool pile somewhere. Here we go. Ah, it's right here. So this is my first story writing book, and this is the creative writing book. And I'll probably try to use some of this over some of our school breaks. But it gives you ideas on creative writing, some words to use, prompts, step-by-step ways, so beginnings, ways to set up beginnings, illustrative types of things. So this is my first story, and it actually starts with just talking about yourself. There's also a diary one that talks about like kind of an autobiography type of thing. So there's that. And this is the creative writing book. Again, it helps you go through dialogue and kind of walk through dialogue. Different prompts, different styles. I think there's a theater style in here. Exaggeration, how to make your styles funny. Poems, poetic structures. Lots and lots of stuff in a not too bad setup. And finally, I'm gonna do these last few. I'm gonna try to get through them really quickly. These are all a nonfiction, although there's probably a couple of nonfiction that I'll address in the next video. But there's also 50 things to do, things to make and do. And they're just different science demonstrations with some explanations on why they work and everything. Again, this is 50. I think there are other books like this also on Usborne. Lots of activity books on Usborne. There's also the See Inside. I have famous palaces and great cities. I'm going to just look at one because I've already taken almost 15 minutes of your time and I'm trying to get through to show you what these things are. So this is inside. You can see inside Sydney Opera House. So here's the Sydney Opera House, and then you open up and you can kind of see inside, and there are different things you can see inside on the page. Let's see. You can see inside Sydney Tower. This is in Sydney, so you can see inside the tower. And it gives you some facts about those places, and it talks about different places in the world. So we have London, we have New York City, Venice, Shanghai, Istanbul, I think, yeah. And all of them have these flaps that you can open. This one's a rather large one talking about the Topkapi Palace. Okay, and they have the same thing for palaces, and there's some biology ones, anatomy ones, talking inside the human body, lots of that. And this is the last one I'm going to, no, 2 more books for this video, and then we'll go. This is one that I could not wait. I got it right when it came out. Timelines of World History. Very similar to what you saw in the World History Encyclopedia. It's just lots of different events that happen along the same timeline. So I'm going to flip to what we're studying right now, which is the 18th, or they have 18th, 19th century, 20th century. So like, let's look at the 18th century. So that's the cover for the 18th century part. And it's a timeline that goes through the whole book, talking about what was happening in different parts of, so like the Southern and Western Europe, Northern and Eastern Europe, Africa to India, the Far East, America and the Pacific. A ton of things that were all happening around the same time. In fact, I'm probably going to be using this more this year than I ever have before. And last one, I'm going to be we talked about Shakespeare a while back. Yeah, there's Audrey. She loves Shakespeare. We actually got somewhere around here, we have Twelfth Night, the Usborne Twelfth Night, which is really, really cool. But this is just about the world of Shakespeare, so it talks about different just basically all you can want to know about Shakespeare and how he affected his time and how he affected our time. And again, this is another internet linked book. A lot of these nonfictions have links that you can find to other resources online, which is why I really like them, because we can go on some really visual tours. For example, in the science encyclopedia, we discovered a really interesting dissection YouTube channel where these scientists at a place in, I believe, Bristol, dissect some really, really cool parts of animals, I believe, and show why our bodies work the way they work. So like they do, I think, a cow eye, and they show the different parts and how they work and how they connect, and what each part does. So that's really, really great. Anyway, now into fiction.